I'm trying to unmute her.
You unmuted her and then she muted herself back up.
So let me try it, Meg Keanu. There we,
Nope,
no,
you
I
keep
can't
both
do it. You
doing
need
it
to do it,
and-
Meg. Meg Keanu, can you hit your unmute button? You did. Okay, so
Yeah, there we go.
there we
I
are.
was doing it and you were doing it, and then I did it and then you did it.
Okie doke. We're going to get started. Thank everybody for zooming in. Randy, thank you for taking time to join us. The topic we'd love to chat with you about, and Steve, if you were here, is some signage that we have down at the public landing. I'm hearing some other conversation. And Randy, as you can see, we have a photograph on my screen of a little cluster of signs over there where the Rosa Rugosas are.
Yeah, I saw it. I don't see the screen now. So
Yeah,
You
you're
need
not
to share
sharing
again.
your screen, Deb.
Pardon?
You're not sharing your screen.
Yeah, it says share.
Are you sharing with
Hello?
everybody?
I'm
Oh,
thought
here
I
it
was.
comes, here it comes, there you go.
Okay, so Randy, do you see it now?
Yep, I do.
So this is as is, and here is the magic of Photoshop. And we know that there are some signs there that are giving directions, talking about, you know, the safety sign is the no parking or standing, and the public landing, parking cars only, no buses. And I think what perhaps we'd like to get from you is some input from you on whether you think there is a better place to put the signs, particularly the sign about the parking is for cars only. Is this any?
Hey, Deb, can I ask a favor? Can you just show us that
Yes.
one picture because it's too small to see otherwise?
Just show you that picture. I don't know how to do
A lot of
that.
Desktop.
Pardon?
We're seeing a lot of your desktop. We see a picture of the beach with clouds. We see a bunch of other stuff. There you go.
Can you enlarge that?
Well, let's see.
I'm not an
If I
Apple
can-
person, so I don't know how to do it on Apple.
That's better.
That helps.
That better? I don't know. I don't want to lose you guys.
Step back one step.
What's that?
Step back one step. This is too close.
It's too close.
So just back up a step. There.
Okay. And
Now
I
we can read everything.
scroll it down.
Well, we could probably remove the sign off the green pole because everybody stands in the public way anyway, so. Really doesn't- That, I believe, historically, we used to have a large group of people hanging out there at night, and they would block the public way for vehicle traffic going through there. So those signs were probably erected back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Talking about the one that's on the green pole
Right. That says no parking or standing.
in public way.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we probably have gone past that point where we could probably remove that one totally. The public landing, parking cars only, no buses is important, because if we don't have that, we're gonna get tour buses down in there and then they can't get turned around. So if it's just a matter of relocating it, I'd be fine with that if there's a more desirable place to put that. And it might
Well,
be something.
Well, we were actually wondering about, like, once the bus gets to that sign, it's a little late. Like, maybe it needs to be up at the top of the road or something.
Exactly where I was just gonna say, we should probably have that up at the top of the landing.
I would agree. And I wonder, you know, we have a no right-hand turn sign now, if I'm not mistaken, at the top of Bayview Street. I think that's, and so
No left-hand turn. Right hand would take you back out onto Main Street.
Right.
Oh, well, I do not know my left from my right, so I wonder if at the top of the hill, if there's a good spot to put it up at the top of the hill, and whether it could be simply say car parking only, as opposed to, which might make it easier to read. I don't know. Public landing, car parking only? Maybe not.
Well, we did this on Atlantic Avenue with car parking only. Pickup trucks are actually registered as passenger vehicles, some of them, like
Uh-huh.
say an F-150, so that's technically considered a car. So you would restrict any truck parking down there. So that would be one issue.
It's always more complicated than we imagine.
Right, or should it say like no buses or RVs?
Absolutely. I would agree with that.
Well, I wonder though, if you do have to specify that you are talking about the public landing. I mean, if
Yeah.
it's the top of the hill, people might think, oh, down this street is only for cars. Or so I think you kind of have to have public landing in there, even though it makes it wordier, but I think you have to be specific about it. I mean, I know how people don't read signs or don't understand signs. So I don't know. It just seems to me you would have to say you're talking about public landing.
I think that sign is very clear in what it means. And we're gonna have to have a sign somewhat the same size anyway. I think we would just complicate matters trying to come up with another variation. I think that spells it out pretty well. And just
I was
move,
just thinking it could be even larger, maybe depending on the location. Would it be a good idea to have a couple of people like meet Randy and look for a better site?
I can look at it tomorrow. I don't know. The signs have to be so far off the ground, and Dave St. Laurent has all that knowledge, and I don't think he's on to it. That's
And
something.
if they're on the sidewalk, they have to be 7 feet up or something.
Right. And I don't know if there's room on that pole up there to put it or not, but we could definitely take a look at it. The other thing is some of those things have to be out of the way for snow plowing, because that's where they take the big loaders down through during the winter. So we want to make sure that it wasn't interfering with them pushing snow down into the public landing too.
Yeah, so we can't put it in the parking area itself because of the needing to move the snow. Right. Well, if we can contact Dave and ask the two of you, would one of the design team members like to meet them there? So it would be Dave, Randy, and one of us?
I could do it.
Who's that? It was
Richard.
Richard.
Yeah.
There you popped up.
Like, it seems like if those signs were removed and we give Randy a chance to say what should be said on the signs, give us the words, and then we move them. And then importantly, we have Dave's crew or Parks and Rec clear all that brush away from not only where these signs are, but the ladder sign at the top of Commercial Street. It'll look 100% better. And there's very little work to do to accomplish that.
Right. I would agree. Those Rosa Rugosas probably need cutting.
I mean, look at this, look at that stuff there. Just cut that down. That's not attractive planting.
Well, there are roses.
Sandy and that sign, welcome to the
Well, what I'm seeing, I don't think most of what I'm looking at would be called attractive planting by most people. So
I'm sure Dave and I can meet with some.
Richard, thank you. Do you want to coordinate? Richard, do you want to coordinate with Randy and Dave?
sure,
Find out when they could meet?
absolutely. Yep.
That would be fabulous.
Okay.
What,
Well, that was,
can I just ask, what is the little blue sign? Is that a social distancing sign?
Yes.
yeah,
The white and
it
blue?
is.
But what's the next one to the left of that?
Yes.
It's hidden.
That's the doggy bag, pickup doggy litter bag thing, I'm pretty sure. Will probably need to stay, but you can't see it currently. I think, that can go away because this nice welcome to Camden sign takes its place. This went up before we had the nice pole signs.
Oh, you mean the social distancing sign can go?
Yeah, because it says that right here on this welcome to Camden,
Right,
please wear a mask. That's on that sign that you can't see now because it's hidden by the bushes.
right.
I mean, unless you walk around it. So that could probably disappear as well. And relocating this would be terrific.
Did we say we were going to relocate the no parking or standing?
Yeah, Randy said that could
Yeah.
disappear.
It could disappear? Oh, good, good. That's right. It's a shame to put it on that sign, I think.
On that nice pole.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get that, put something in the budget to get that nice pole sanded and painted, as well as this looks like it needs a little refurbishment as well. Well, thank you,
I'll
Randy.
cover that when I meet Dave and Randy down there.
Great, Richard. Thank you.
Yeah. What time do you think, Randy? What day?
Oh, I've got a couple of things going on tomorrow, but Thursday,
Okay.
let me find my phone that I've set down here somewhere. But
Or should I just wait to hear from you and or Dave?
why don't you just check in with me tomorrow, Richard, and I'll,
Okay. Yep.
And
I'll
then
give
if
you-
I found his phone.
I haven't found it. I'll call myself in a few minutes and figure out where it is.
Great. And then Richard, you can give us a report.
I will.
That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, are there any other signs down there that you're concerned about? We went over and looked at the park a little while ago and we removed some of those signs, so.
I was
as you
going to
can see,
ask about the fisherman's signs. There are lots of them, and I don't know if there's a way to reduce that or to put it on the pavement rather than on all of the pilings.
Well, there's a number of permanent fishermen down there, so
Right.
those places are, if we don't have that properly signage, we're gonna have more issues with that. Some people pull in there to go fishing because it says fisherman parking.
Oh.
That's permitted fisherman parking. So that's, and, 10 months, actually probably 8 months out of the year, it's not an issue.
Right.
But during the summer when you're trying to get fresh catch to market and you've got to move bait and things like that,
Right.
we need all the proper signage we can have there.
Okay.
I also think that those signs are a nice reminder that we are still a working harbor as well as for tourism.
Right.
I like
agree,
that.
Meg. Good point.
Very nice.
And it also affords a view.
Richard, I think I have your email. I'll send you an email with my phone number, my cell number, and you can give me a call tomorrow. We'll figure it out.
Okay, I look forward to it, Randy. If I don't hear from you, I'll get in touch with you.
Sounds good.
And
Thank
Richard,
you.
while you're down there, you can take another look around and see if there's anything else that we might want to
Yep,
alter.
Dave and I will do that as well. Sure.
All right, that's super. Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Okay, have a good night, everyone.
You
Thank
too. Bye-bye. Well, I'm sorry, Dave St. Laurent isn't with us. Oops, okay, I'm gonna
Wait,
close.
Deb, before you close that, I was just looking at this photograph that you have just to the right of the sign photo. And it's obviously been a while ago.
Yep,
The fire hydrant is painted red.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
bushes look like they're in a lot better shape and that there's no weeds, like someone's been either mulched or weed whacked under the bushes. And I'm like, the whole scene looks a lot more organized.
yeah,
Right.
that needs to be weeded and mulched and trimmed.
Yeah.
This picture comes from the T.Y. Lin
Oh.
public landing report. I was trying to find, I ran out of time today and I couldn't go down to get a bigger picture of any kind. So I pulled this up from the T.Y. Lin report. So you know how old that is. Is
Yeah,
that 10 years old?
something like that.
More.
Yeah, probably more. All
I
right, well,
see they still have one of the signs on the green post and another one there.
yeah.
Yeah.
But look at, guys, look at the position of the Camden Public Landing
Yeah, it's like,
sign there. And look at it in Rafi's picture.
yeah,
Huh.
Yeah.
It's been
maybe the
swung
wind
around.
blows it around.
Interesting.
Well, it should probably be, what, 90 degrees to the road?
You
Maybe
think?
it had to be moved because it got whacked by a truck,
Yeah,
but it should be. Well, that's another thing you can talk about.
right.
with Dave and Randy.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
I
there's
can
Dave.
stop.
Davis just joined us.
Yeah, I can't see him. There you are. Hi, Dave. Can you unmute yourself? Or shall I?
Oh.
Hi.
Hi, guess where I was at? I went to town hall.
Oh dear.
Ah,
So sorry.
That's okay.
Well, you've just been committed to have a meeting with Randy Gagney and Richard Bernhard down at the public landing to talk a little bit more about the signage in that cluster of signs,
Sure.
to see where perhaps the the car parking only sign might be relocated. So Richard's going to coordinate a meeting with the three of you.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so
Yep.
I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see, stop share.
There.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Well, hi, everybody else. There, I can see you a little bit better, unless you're not the size of a postage stamp. Dave, your timing is really good because do you have any update on the DOT project on Main and Elm?
I do. We are going to be meeting. Let me see here, next week. With DOT, I believe we're meeting on the 13th to go over the kind of the work plan.
So you're meeting with the contractor?
Yeah, and MDOT, yep. So that's what I'm gonna talk to him about, the other work.
Like the Harbor
Walk.
Walkway?
Mhm.
Oh, that's great. So it doesn't look like it's gonna start till another week or so, or 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, it's supposed to start on the 15th, so I'll know better next week, I guess, after the meeting, right?
Yeah.
Where is the starting point?
I'll know after the meeting, because that's,
Oh,
I guess,
okay.
that's all, we're gonna talk about all those details that we haven't talked about yet.
Great.
So the good
Listen-
news is we're getting closer. And next year it'll be over, I'm hoping.
Well, let's hope that applies to all kinds of things.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, could you shoot us an email sometime after your meeting?
Yeah, yeah, but I won't have anything to talk about at the
Give
next
us
meeting.
An update, not to be long.
What's that?
Sure, we can talk about it next meeting unless you think we need to know something before then, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I'll try and take good notes and then I'll put together a little kind of list of the things that came up with dates and times and starting points and pertinent data to everybody that's on the committee.
That's super.
Well,
Thank you.
oh, sorry. I was wondering if after your meeting, like Penn Bay Pilot or somebody would be there, and Because I would think the public might want to know too, when it was all going to start.
Hmm.
I mean, I
Um,
don't know. Is that something they'd be involved with the press?
I think that the MDOT would do a public announcement when they know the details.
Okay,
So we have to remember that the actual drainage project isn't our project. It's the MDOT's project. Our part of the project will be the walkway going down. And that'll be what, that'll be our part. Although I'll be involved in, helping with what's going on down there and facilitating what happens. In case we run into problems or difficulties or interactions with, homeowners or property owners or business owners and that kind of thing.
I would have to say that if it's going to start on the 15th, they're awfully late in notifying people that their businesses, homes, whatever could be impacted by this. This seems like a really late notice to me.
Mark, I don't have the answer to that, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
guess they're gonna say that they've already let everybody know a while back that this project was gonna start on the 15th.
I suppose.
I mean,
They-
I'm gonna guess that'll be the fallback position
Hmm.
if they are determined to start on the 15th, but let's maybe wait and see what comes of the meeting. And then we will know.
What I'll do then, and for the select board meeting tonight, I'll mention that 15th, what's it called? MDOT would be called what's the project called?
Route 1 drainage project, Route 1 drainage improvement project.
Drainage improvement.
And I'll try and call Doug after the meeting. And I'll let you know what came of it.
Okay, because if I mention it, then the press will pick it up most likely and maybe contact them and say, what are the details? So we can sort of jumpstart the notice. So there's, at least a little caution for the businesses and stuff that of course have had a tough year, but it is what it is. So that I'll mention it tonight. So that way at least we'll get a little jumpstart on a little publicity about it.
And I'll try and find out a little bit more between now and the meeting tonight from
Okay.
project manager.
Thanks.
Dave St. Laurent, I have a question for you about the street light at the corner of Washington and Elm Street by Ellie Leonard's. It's not there
I was
anymore.
gonna say, there isn't one there, right?
The
Yeah.
vegetable truck took it.
Oh,
That's what took it.
And we're gonna put it up tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, good.
Because we had to order it. It was part of an insurance claim.
Mm.
And we didn't have a spare, so I budgeted a spare this year. And we ordered 2 of them, and we received them last week, and we're putting them in tomorrow. Or the one in tomorrow. And then I have actually an update on the one decorative light that isn't working that I know Richard knows where it is in front of the library.
Hmm.
And so I followed up with that and I checked the Roam controller and the number and the ID, and I just can't log into it for some reason. So there's a malfunction in that light for one reason or another. And what we're doing is we're taking the actual light that got knocked over that we just talked about, a part of that. We're gonna go and put it on that light that's in front of the library, hoping that takes care of the problem there. And if it doesn't, I've got a whole new setup and I'm gonna put that in. And I've already contacted the company and they're gonna give me a reimbursement on that light because it isn't working. So
Good.
progress, but only one light left and it only took about a year to get them all up and running. So
They look great.
we're almost there.
Great.
Dave, is that the light that's in front of the children's garden?
No. The main old entrance to the library.
It's right, yeah,
Oh.
it's on is it High
Main
Street right there?
Okay, High Street, yeah. Not Atlantic Avenue.
No.
And one other question, after we had our meeting and I took the photos down off my desktop, the state route sign that says Route 52 or 105 that was right by the crosswalk at the Village Green.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's disappeared. We now just have the yellow diamond pedestrian with the parking on it, and that state directional sign is no longer with us.
Well, I can't say that I'm responsible for that, but I thought you guys didn't like that sign.
We didn't.
Oh, well then,
We
it's a
just thought
blessing.
I thought it just magically disappeared somehow, whether in the middle of the night.
I don't know what happened to it.
There've been a lot of, maybe somebody thought it was a political sign and took it by mistake.
Fraternity prank, I don't know.
wrong color.
I know that the other one was by the light that got knocked over that you didn't like, and that one's gone too. So maybe
Really?
there's a sign elf or something out there taking these signs that you don't like down.
Well, maybe the DOT will forget that it was ever there, and after they do the drainage project, they won't put it back. Maybe.
The only problem is you might have a lot of people going by your house asking where they turn to go to Appleton.
That's the thing. I mean, that sign, I mean, you wouldn't really know where Washington Street is. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, if you don't really know where you're going, it's easy
But
to
if
miss
you
that.
back up to where the Allen Agency building is,
Yep.
there's a sign by the Allen Agency building that says Hope in Appleton and has the town and directional signage, but it doesn't have the route numbers.
Yeah, and everybody's using GPS. So, I mean, I think that's the other side of it, right?
Are there any other questions for Dave on the Public Works stuff?
Well, I wanted to talk about the snowball driveway.
Oh, almost done. Not
Yeah,
quite.
I walked over there. It looks amazing. Truly
Yeah,
amazing.
that was a big job, bigger than, came out good though. So we paved the second half. We're grading the rest of it tomorrow, and then we're paving the rest of it the day after. And then that whole thing, other than some of the fine fine tuning and gravel along the edges and the transition into the parking lot will be done. It's gonna
Well,
be,
you made that whole huge like plunge pool on the
it came out beautiful, didn't it?
side of the culvert. It's great.
That came
It's
out
really-
nice.
Keep the sediment from going out.
Yeah, the contractors did a really good job with that. He really took his time, and it really looks nice. Looks better than the old culverts with the potholes and the. Really, I mean, it's great. I've been lucky to be involved in all these projects.
You're looking good, Dave.
Yeah, I'd say overall, I think we want to commend Dave and Public Works for all the work that's been done this summer. Those streets are terrific. I mean, newly paved Chestnut Street, Park Street with that handsome sidewalk. It's really nice.
Now, look at Norwood, what's being done there.
Yeah, that's a
That'll
big one.
Major drainage, isn't it?
Yeah, all of it. Water line, drainage, and sewer line, all replaced on that. So that'll be done this week also, maybe Monday, but I think Friday that'll be done. So the only thing left will be the Opera House and the Route 1 project, and that means a lot, Richard. Thank you.
And also I guess you call the neighborhood streetlights, not the ones downtown. I think those are a real success in every standpoint. The way that the light is directed to the street, but not back to the houses, it's really, really good work.
We've been fine tuning those with the smart control system too, because there's people that don't like all of the light. So
Right.
we're putting those on a different schedule. Just a bit of trivia. So now there's 53 decorative lights, including the new one in the parking lot,
Mhm.
which I still have to hook that one up. And then there's 283 streetlights in town that have all been replaced.
Wow.
There's a total of 335 new lights in town that are all LED.
Perfect.
Great.
That's
Wow,
wonderful.
Where'd we get all that money?
They've been just been piling up.
The
Really?
tax bills
Yeah.
are going out next week.
Oh, I think they already did.
I think we had a lot of ideas, and we had a lot of wants, and we had a lot of budgeting for the money, but we just never did follow through with the project.
And Meg, the one thing I can tell you is that because they've switched to LED, actually, we will end up saving money over time,
Right.
over this. It will pay for the project.
Well, it's just like the decorative light project that we worked on. You know, it takes a few years, but they will be paying for themselves as well. And that was a project that we worked successfully with Rick Seibel. So
Another-
our public works directors have been super.
Another area of town that deserves a drive-through for incredible improvement is Knowlton Street and the new middle school. The very nice granite curbs they put in, the lighting in their parking lots is exquisite because it's very low to the ground, low level lighting with a warm temperature. The plantings are great. It's a real nice improvement.
So 3 cheers for our public works and the middle school contractors.
So I think this is where I step in with the word planting and say that now that the Snowball Road looks so good, as I was walking over there, had an idea that could be a collaboration between Public Works and maybe Dave Jackson with the Tree City USA, though I don't know if they do things that aren't like right downtown, and maybe the Garden Club or Parks and Rec. And that is when you're going along the Snowball Road and you look at the pond, the power line is like there in your face because the power line is just backstopped by sky. And the same thing is true when you're out on the pond and you look back at the Snowball, you're staring at the power line. And my thought was, when I went over there and looked, that there's enough non-swampy ground between the power line and the pond that you could actually plant a row of shade trees, sort of, maybe even randomly spaced somewhere between the power line and the pond. And as they grew up, they would break up the view of the power line and you would look under them to the pond. And that might be a nice thing.
I think that's an awesome idea. I think we have money in the tree account too for that kind of thing. And they're looking for places to plant trees.
Ah,
So I think we need to kind of bring that up.
Well, would you like a memo from the design team, even though it's not downtown, suggesting the planting of trees in that area? Or should that come from Parks and Rec?
I think, is it,
Could we
is there,
somebody
there's a,
contact Parks and Rec to request it?
I'm trying to think of the person who's really involved with that part of the planting of trees. Is it BB Parker or BB?
Edie.
BB, she's,
Edie. Aren't you our tree warden though?
no, Rick's still the tree warden,
Aha.
but I think I can mention it to Rick.
That's a great, and Meg, as a citizen who lives there,
yeah.
would you could write a letter to Dave?
Yeah, I'd
Say-
be happy to do that. Who would I address the letter to? The select board
You know,
or?
I think Janice is actually the person that coordinates the planting of those, planting of those trees. There's a process. Why don't I find out the process
Okay,
and then I'll let you know.
great.
And
So
then
we're not-
Meg, you could include a picture.
Yes, I could do that.
I like that idea. I think that's a great idea.
And then Meg, you can design what it'll look like with the new trees.
That's right. I could maybe do like a little mock-up there.
Yes, yes.
Fake little cardboard trees.
We probably should talk with Beth too, we don't want to, interrupt or get in the way of something too, because I don't know all the goings on over there. But I think it's doable. It makes sense to me.
It's a great idea, even though it's not downtown.
I like trees that are out in the country like that because then it's, sorry guys.
Oh, you don't have to take care of them?
No, the leaves don't fall and then plug the drains in the downtown. That's what,
Well, thank you very much. Any other questions for Dave? Great. Next on our agenda is to sort of continue a discussion we started last meeting about a transition in leadership. So I'd like to sort of open that discussion up a little bit, hoping that there's some folks that would be somebody that would be willing to be nominated or step forward to help fill the slot that I've been in.
I could speak to that or open it up.
That'd be great, Richard.
I'd nominate Donna and possibly another person, which possibly could be one of the Megs, maybe Meg. The reason being that, Donna's new into the group, so she has, the sort of enthusiasm that you look for with a new member that you don't find as much with an older one. She has a definite background in design. She's married to an architect. And before she got on this committee, we hiked together a lot. And she told me about certain things in town that she observed that work right into what we do as a design committee. So she's always had sort of an interest in doing that. And I think she'd be excellent. I think, she would know the ropes in dealing with the administration of the town. Maybe not as much with the select board, but that's where maybe if Meg Barkley or Meg Keano was a co-chair, it would work. And then she did mention that she doesn't like to take notes. And so if the co-chair were able to do that, that'd be great. And if not, maybe you could assist.
I think Deb already offered to do that, didn't you, Deb?
Oh, did she? Yeah.
Unless somebody else wants to, but I'm happy to continue to do that. That would take a little bit of load off of Donna if she, becomes chair. Would it be helpful?
I should speak to this right now. I've talked to both Deb and to Richard about this, and I feel like I'm not the person to head us up, at least at this point. And I think it should be either one of the Megs or Richard, because they know the workings of the town administration. And I think that's critical for our role here. And I'm just not ready to do it. And I can tell you that I think we should go in a different direction. So one of the Megs or Richard, I would go for. And I think Deb deserves to step back a little bit. She said she would take notes, and I think that's great. And she would be available for advisory role. And so that's where I'm at this point.
Well, I can speak for this Meg, and I'm not going to take this on. I've been as busy as I've ever been trying to keep this business going, and I don't feel like I have the time or even the desire at this point to take on anything else that creates more work for me. So I love the committee. I think it's great. I like being part of it. I just do not want to take on a leadership role. So that's this Meg's opinion.
And I told Deb that I would be willing to be someone's co-chair, but because I'm not here all the time, God willing, and I'm also like just totally slammed with work. I've never had so much architecture work just come flooding in the door, and it's just crazy around here that I can't possibly be the chair all on my own and take that on. John wouldn't even let me co-chair, but he doesn't, he's not the boss of me, so.
How about Richard and Meg?
Well, let's see. Everybody's had their opportunity to talk themselves out of it. And I don't think I'm qualified for,
Yes, you are.
Oh my goodness.
for a number of reasons. One of them being that I've had, how many years have we been doing this? 5 years, 4 years, something like that. I've had some opportunity to come up with ideas, but they don't go anywhere. Oftentimes stopped by either the town manager or the select board. So I'm sort of sensitive to that I don't have the ability to do that. I'm also rotten at taking notes, and you can go to any college I went to and ask about it, because that's why I was a C student. And I've never felt too comfortable going in front of boards like the select board. So I think I'm basically not qualified for it.
And Dave Jackson, we don't want to leave you out, but I know that you're a resident of Rockport.
Yes.
And I think that unfortunately that keeps you qualified as a vice chair or, another position, but perhaps not chair of the Camden Downtown Design Team.
Actually, Deb, I can speak to that. There are only 2 positions by Maine law that require residency. That is select board and school board members.
Right. I mean, it's
So-
not a legal requirement. That's true.
No, this is true. So if Dave was willing enough to, he could, but that's not for me to decide.
Yeah.
Okey doke. And I can.
Politically, Politically, I think that would not be good.
Okay.
Politically.
All right, guys. So I'll stay on for a while.
I really appreciate that, and I think we all do.
Yes. we should.
Donna,
And
why don't
Deb,
you-
I'm willing to be your co-chair if you want a co-chair. If you want to
That
take,
would leave Dave off the hook.
then,
Okay, let's try that.
Or what about, wait, I have a thought. Thank you, Meg. Donna, what about you becoming second chair to get a little more experience being involved in that level?
that would be perfect, Donna. You could sort of be like a Mike Pence, learn all this stuff.
Oh, no, don't equate her to Mike Pence.
but sail, Richard.
You mean Meg and me, or Deb and me?
Deb and Donna.
Deb and Donna. Perfect.
What do you think, Donna? Would you be willing to do that, or you want to hold off another year and we'll pick on Meg Barkley?
I think that's good. Pick on Meg,
Barkley?
yes. But I'm willing to take on more responsibility when it pops up. So that's what I need to do.
Well, and I need to be reminded to ask people to do more.
Mhm.
So Dave Jackson, are you comfortable with being replaced by Meg?
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah.
Meg, are you comfortable taking notes from time to time?
Absolutely. I in fact enjoy taking notes and typing up my copious minutes.
I think we probably need a motion. We don't probably need a motion about me, but should we have a motion and a vote on Meg Barkley being the new vice chair of the design team?
I
Yep.
so move.
Second,
Hands up.
Oh, my dog heard someone's other.
Okay, it's unanimous. Well, my cat meowed at a crow outside and somebody's dog barked in response.
Yeah. It's okay, Clarky.
Okay, so does anybody have anything else they'd like to talk about? We could have an early exit from this
I
meeting,
do have-
then we need.
I do have a question. I was wondering, obviously fundraising is done, voting, design, everything is done. Do we have a status update on when the wall on the parking lot, mechanic parking lot is going to be?
Yes, that was in the notes. It looks like early spring as Steve can do it. His schedule got absolutely full.
Got it. Okay. It just,
So he is committed to that?
Richard, I think
I'm not sure the right word is committed, but he's committed to the town. And he has a lot of work, and he said if something opened up right now, he'd do it, but if not, the spring looked good, and he was even acknowledged that the wall, because of its masonry configuration, stores some heat, and he could paint there on colder days than other places. So he's ready to roll.
cool. Okay. Thank you for that. I will make mention of that tonight.
Dave St.
Something to look
Lawrence.
forward to.
Dave, S.
The garden club has planted the plants and the plantings. I didn't know if anybody noticed.
Oh,
They
good.
look
Been up
great.
there.
Go take a look.
So, so they planted quite a few of them. They're not all planted, but most of them are planted. They're gonna do some more. But we wanted to get a head start on them. And I had a kind of, my daughter does kind of wood burning kind of as a hobby. And I'm gonna see if I can get her to do like the scientific names of each one of the
Hmm.
plants with a little sign, so you can stick it in where the plant is,
Oh,
Because-
cool.
because it's gonna be what do they call it, a native garden. So it's all native species. So
Great.
gonna try and put those little signs in there so people can, there's blueberries and cardinal flowers, and they all have a scientific name, and so you put the common name, the sign. It's kind of neat. I don't know if anybody's seen those kind of gardens with
Yeah,
that.
no, I think it's terrific.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
it'll
Dave?
kind of, yes.
The piece that your daughter wrote, where did I read that? It was,
That was in the time capsule. Yeah,
yeah, it was lovely. It was really lovely.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought
Pretty
it
good
was,
writer.
yeah.
Thank
I-
you.
I thought it was very, very brilliant. I'm glad that it's part of our record.
Yes.
Thanks. I'm gonna let her know that. That means a lot.
Should we, as a design team, send a thank you note to the garden club, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah, be
That'd
good.
be a nice thing, yeah.
And Mark, maybe you could mention that tonight if you're talking about anything we've talked about, how the garden club has stepped up and,
I will do that.
okay.
It was super helpful. They went out and picked out the theme, picked out the plants, helped plant the plants. We helped them a little bit, but I mean, they were the ones that kind of came up with the theme and everything. We still have, like I said, a few more things to put in there, but it's a native plant garden.
Cool.
Nice.
I'll go take a look and then I'll, on our behalf, I'll write them a old-fashioned handwritten thank you note.
They put some bulbs and stuff in around the trees too. So the other thing you have to remember now, it's the initial planting. So it's not going to look like it's going to look when it kind of takes
Right.
off in the
Well,
spring.
it's also only it's October. It's not like it's June and everything's gonna be blooming and beautiful.
Very cool. A lot of good stuff came out of this meeting.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of LED lights. We've got new projects. We've got some signs going away. We've got, some new plants. We've got a wall coming up. Pretty nice
great.
meeting.
Well, the next meeting
And we
would
have
not,
a chairperson.
what, Meg?
No, I was just saying, and we have a chairperson.
Right.
Two chairpersons.
Second, yeah.
Yeah.
The next meeting would be the 3rd, but that's kind of a busy, November 3rd is kind of like
Ooh,
a little clogged up with something else happening, like an election.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, there is,
I
isn't
know
there?
I know where I'm gonna be, down at the fire station. So what do people think about the 10th? So we go for the 10th? Mark,
so.
10th is good.
10th is good?
Yep.
And unless things change, we probably be Zooming unless something happens in tonight's select board meeting and we hear otherwise
I asked
afterwards.
about that. Why did it go back to Zoom?
I am not sure. I just got an email.
The
from
governor
Jan-
changed its class 4, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
she's changed
today,
class
right?
4 where you can now have more capacity. The Opera House theoretically.
No, it's
after
less.
people could go to 100 people.
I heard that it was more restrictive now.
Well,
It's
Anyhow.
less.
one thing I will mention, if you've not been paying attention, we've got an upswing of cases of COVID in Knox County that we have not had through this whole pandemic. We now have 13 active cases in town. We had 2 new ones today. We've had a new one just about every day this is in the past week. We sat at 2 active cases for about 3 or 4 months.
This
So-
is in the county or in
It's Knox
town.
County. But, it did impact the 8th grade at the middle school. One of the athletic meets at the high school was canceled last week because of somebody had a positive reaction. So it's a good time to be safe.
Oh, I
and
agree.
not move too quickly.
No, I didn't know if something had happened town government wise to say no more.
I don't know. I wasn't, I wasn't a part of it. They must have made a decision about it, but I think it's a good time to be safe.
Well, we all seem to behave fairly well together in a Zoom meeting, so I think, if we have to do it in November by Zoom, we will.
No, that's fine.
Oh, one other thing about downtown, perhaps Meg Keanu knows best. Have there been any interest on, the vacant buildings? Are the stores?
I know so little about that. I've not heard
Right.
anything. I did hear that, and maybe Deb, you said something about it, or somebody said at the last meeting that Billy Dickey's place, there was somebody going in there.
Oh,
I heard that. But other than that, they are doing some work though. I saw.
how about the Drody beer?
That's sold.
That was sold and I don't know.
Andrew, I saw Andrew 2 days ago, the prior
Mhm.
owner, and he said it's a young couple and they hope to start another restaurant in that same space. And they
Really?
have past experience. They're originally from Maine, have lived in New York. They have some experience with a brew pub or something, Oxbow in Western Maine somewhere, but they're coming to Camden
Mhm.
and they're going to start a restaurant. So it'll
Great.
be
Oh,
that
good.
space will get
That's good.
filled. Dave St. Laurent, I saw you raise your hand. You knew
Oh,
anything
it-
new?
It was just me saying that David Dickey's the one that said someone new was going into that building.
Oh,
Into
okay.
the embroidery space. Well, I'm glad somebody are going to go into that big corner space.
I do believe two things I'm aware of. The former spot of Long Grain is still run by the Long Grain people. And they're planning on putting a vegetarian restaurant in there, and they're now starting to work on it, although they don't have an opening date. And I have heard that the building on Meg's side, I think it's the one you were talking about, supposedly the woman that owns the Smoothie Shack is going to be putting in some sort of food.
Okay, but the last I had heard was they were going to open in June so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, I think
Felicia.
everything slowed down but they are planning on being there and open.
Oh, good.
I
Okay.
believe.
Good. We still have a few
Mhm.
empty spaces for sure, but.
Yeah, it's something I wanted to talk about tonight at the meeting as well,
Okay.
because we need to see, it's interesting as we become, if anybody's noticed lately, real estate sells as soon as something comes available. As
Yes.
people discover this is a great place to live, great school system. So it seems to me the opportunity for some new businesses that can be year-round businesses and work with all these new people coming to town. There's some great opportunity if we can explore and find some opportunities.
It's also a very difficult time for somebody to make a decision to open a new business.
It's a
just
very difficult
don't know
time.
what is
Yeah,
gonna-
it's tough to say, hey, come and rent a storefront or, do
Right.
some sort of business. But, it's, all we can do is be as positive as we can about the community and what a great place it is to be.
Right.
So, and maybe encourage people and there will be some people that recognize the opportunity and hopefully will come in.
Well, I certainly appreciate all of the retailers, Meg, you and all of your cohorts on Main Street and Elm Street that made a big effort this summer and this fall to stay open and to keep people safe and keep the town as active as it's been. And so thank you and everybody else in the downtown for keeping us going.
Thank you. And the thing, I don't know if I said it last time, but the thing that has been the most heartening to me as a business owner has been people's concern for businesses. The people that have come in, local and visitors who come back every year to Camden, and they're so concerned. Are you doing okay? Are you going to make it? Is it going to be all right? That's, to me, has been such a positive about this whole thing. So
That's nice to
I
hear.
think that helps us keep going too. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. Anybody else want to add anything?
No, thanks for everybody from the town. Thanks for everybody putting in the work. A lot's coming out of this committee and I really appreciate it.
Well,
That's
vote,
great.
vote often and vote early.
Yes.
Did it today.
Great, good. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Let's see. I do that.